Welcome to the Pop Culture Cave, where I'm your host, Tommy, and to my left here,
Danny.
you got Danny. I got you.
My bad.
We got my host here, Danny. Take two. Say something to the people.
How you guys doing? Thank you for joining us.
All
it's,
right.
it's a little different today because we didn't have this opening planned as we should have. Right now, David's dying over there.
Well-oiled machine.
Absolutely.
And to my right, the man with the master plan, David.
I have no idea how many times we actually did this for dress rehearsal. Like we have practiced for days for this intro. No, we didn't. This was off the cuff. Like literally before Tommy hit live, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna introduce us a little differently," and it was like, "Fucking what?" So yeah, David.
And welcome to the Pop Culture Cave.
Fucking asshole. All right, so tonight's discussion was brought up by you, Danny. You said we got to do a Star Wars episode because that sounds like a real good idea. Involuntarily, you volunteered it.
Yeah, well.
Just you. Neither one of us wanted to talk about it.
This is one of those moments where the man looks at his buddies. He's like, I don't know why we signed up for this shit, man. And it's like, well, because you suggested it, you son of a...
Yeah, this is all your fault.
Or accomplishment, something.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Right. I don't sleep at night.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so
let me start you guys off with this story.
Oh, here we go.
So a while back, you and I, we talked about that old documentary, The People versus George Lucas.
Yeah.
So fundamentally what it is, it's right after the prequel series happens. So a few years after Revenge of the Sith. And these guys have done this documentary, and basically they're putting George Lucas on trial.
Oh. Please continue.
So
it was worth a watch.
Yeah.
I did watch it. I did watch it.
Yeah, it's absolutely, if you haven't seen it, highly recommend.
Chris Gore from Film Threat was on there.
Yeah, he was one of the contributors on there. That's
For
true.
sure.
So it's this thing of they put George Lucas on trial because he made The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. And it wasn't to the level of expectation of the fans. To the point where even back then, 2010, they're saying, George Lucas killed my childhood. So that got me thinking, man, at the core of it, there's what George Lucas has done, and then there's what people think about George Lucas has done. And I think that that's where a bunch of these Star Wars debates start and end.
So, this is my take on that. Sorry for the long pauses, but I need to collect my thoughts here. When I watched those films, I loved them, and I was surrounded by people who also loved them. I didn't know that there were people that didn't like them until my 20s. I'm about to be 33.
No.
And it was a total shock to me that people didn't like Phantom Menace. I understand why people hate Jar Jar Binks. That people didn't like Attack of the Clones, because that's my favorite one. Why? It's just the origin story of the Stormtroopers and the origin story of Boba Fett and an origin story of how the Jedi Council operated in action.
Right.
Revenge of the Sith apparently was a tone of mood of film that everyone wanted in the trilogy series. So much so that they've only re-released Phantom Menace. This is about maybe 2012, 2013-ish. In theaters, and they also recently re-released 2 Star Wars films. The furthest this year, or the earliest this year that they released was Revenge of the Sith, which blew up that weekend. And then it was the 50th anniversary of A New Hope.
Was it an anniversary thing? 'Cause that's usually when they do stuff like that.
So, yes, they do. And they do it to make bank on those films.
Yeah, it's films that have already been bought and paid for. So.
Right. With that being said, the people who made up the extended canon for the extended universe had to come up with stories, comic books, video games, action figures that tied up all the loose threads from the original trilogy series to the prequel trilogy series. That entire universe, whether you hated the prequel trilogy, was beloved as a collective. All together, people loved that franchise as a universe. Even if you hated those 3 movies, save for Revenge of the Sith, it hurt a whole lot of the fan base that Kathleen Kennedy decanonized it. Not only that, insulted the fans and said, I'm not making a Star Wars for 50-year-old men. I'm not a middle-aged man, nor was I when The Force Awakens came out.
Yeah.
And I drank that Kool-Aid real hard until you and I had a conversation and said, and you told me it was basically A New Hope, word for word.
Yeah.
And it is.
Well, all three of them are the same thing, minus a couple of cliffhangers.
The second film, I don't even care to remember the name of the second film that Rian Johnson directed.
Whoa. We're jumping all over the place.
I apologize.
Now,
There's a lot that I have to say.
Before we get started, that's a good opening. Let's calm down a little bit. Let's dial it back in.
When it comes to Star Wars, they can't come down anymore. Please
That's okay.
continue.
No, you're going to get your time. You're going to get your time.
Woosah.
Yeah, take a breath. And as you take this
Ooh,
breather,
this. Kathleen Kennedy.
I just wanted to ask you guys. Now, we'll come back. I want to ask you guys, what's the craziest thing someone's ever told you about Star Wars?
Jar Jar Binks was their favorite character. I legitimately had somebody say that they love Jar Jar Binks, and I'm sorry, Jar Jar Binks, for what he was, Jar Jar Binks was the R2-D2 of the prequel trilogy. He was the comic relief that you could only understand a portion of. Because here's the thing is, nobody at all in the Star Wars universe legitimately knows what R2-D2 is saying, except C-3PO, but we all know what R2-D2 is saying. All right? Half the time he's saying somebody is really stupid and to be patient, I'm working here. It's usually like his lines. Now,
like the McCoy for Star Trek.
pretty much. Now, the love-hate with the prequel trilogy. So I knew there was love-hate with both of them, with those three films. And me and Tommy had talked about it, previously a couple of times. The fans of the original ones, by and large, the majority of the hate, I believe, comes from the fans, the people that were our age when the original ones came out, the teenagers from then, all right? And they didn't care for the prequel trilogy. Now, our generation, we liked the prequel trilogy, and the older adults that hated it, it has taken a lot of time for it to come full circle, and our generation and the younger generation, our kids that we're raising on Star Wars, to actually like that. So that those cast members and those actors, Hayden Christensen, he finally was given due and felt love when he was doing the interview circuit for Obi-Wan and his appearance in as Darth Vader, because he was hated as Darth Vader and as Anakin in the trilogy,
which is crazy to me. But please continue.
But his career was pretty well ghosted. I mean, what did he do besides that and Jumper? Name me another film that he was in.
I can name you another film that he was in, but I don't remember the name of it.
So you can't name me another film that he was in.
Jessica Alba was in it.
Okay, congratulations. You cannot tell me another movie off the top of your head without looking it up. Star Wars, the prequel trilogy, killed that kid's career. And he is a gifted actor.
Yes, he is.
And he finally got the love and due respect from the fans that have aged. Now, the prequel trilogy did not have things that were massive cliffhangers, like the infamous line, I am your father. The reveal that Darth Vader is Luke and Leia's father. The reveal that Luke and Leia are siblings. We knew all of that going in. And even if you didn't, the trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, you see the evolution of boy Anakin, teenage Anakin, as a Padawan, and then the fall into darkness and becoming Darth Vader. We see all that. So that's not a secret. There was no major oh shit moments in the prequel trilogy, I don't think. And I think that's why a lot of it was more action packed and a lot more fight scenes and a lot of flipping around and more special effects than the original ones had.
I will concede to that. George Lucas was micromanaging a lot with that prequel trilogy.
No, I'm sure he was. It's his baby. Yeah. Why wouldn't he be? I wish he would have micromanaged with the recent trilogy.
I was just gonna say that, man. I wish he was micromanaging right now.
Yeah.
He sold it.
Well, but we'll come back to that too, man. But I think that the reason why the prequels aren't so well received is because there's 3 movies that exist for 20 years. Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, Return of the Jedi. Not in that order. They know that, though.
Yeah.
These are movies, and that's it. Star Wars is done. So people, they play with their toys in their backyard. They have their discussions in high school and college. They become adults, have children. And that's Star Wars. So in their minds, they built up this mountain that no other movie could ever climb. But they want more Star Wars.
Yeah.
So the Phantom Menace happens. There's people that have been waiting for a Star Wars for nearly half their lives. They're going there with the expectation of, this thing's going to blow my mind. Like when I was 7 years old, in my backyard playing with my toys.
Yeah.
Coming up with my own stories. And there's no way that you can live up to that expectation.
No. We overhyped ourselves. But fans do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We overhype ourselves for everything.
And that's why we're going to delve into this discussion here. Because for those guys, those first 3 movies were canon.
Mm.
The other stuff is just there.
It's just there.
So it becomes the question of, what is canon?
That is true and untrue. When
Well,
we talked about
before we get into any of that,
it wasn't.
you need to weigh in on the 6 that we're talking about so far. I need your opinion on it. Why do you think that the first 3 were, box office wise and fan received wise, dog shit? Or is that your reason?
No, I don't think that.
No, I'm talking about like why they weren't well received by the older fans. Is it because of
the prequels?
Yeah. Why do you think the prequels,
The technical first 3
were less impressive to the fandom? Is it because of the build up that they had?
I think that's the number one piece to it.
No.
If there's this movie trilogy, Back to the Future, that's a prime example. I'll use that because there's no 4.
No.
So after all of this time,
There never
Marty
will be.
McFly,
I hope
Doc,
not.
the DeLorean, that has sat, and we have crystallized that in our minds. We have thought of, in our own, what they did after that. We've thought what they could have done, or possibly what we would want them to do.
Mm.
So now that thing becomes crystallized. There's a movie, and it's not your imagination that drives it. It's Back to the Future 4, but it's someone else's imagination of what they would have done after 3. That's a hard pill to swallow. But if you're a kid and you don't know any better, and you watch Back to the Future in 2020, it's 2025, and now there's a new movie.
Mm.
This is my comparison for me. I see A New Hope on VHS in like 96. 4 or 5 years after that, Phantom Menace happens. There's no gap in my knowledge of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That happens, and then these things right happen after that.
You didn't have time to let the stuff sink in, and you create your own mythos.
Exactly.
That's
and,
where
and build your own hype.
And that's the divide between the prequels, the original trilogy, and even the sequels. But you were going to say?
And that's how we feel about the current 3.
That's-
Our generation hates
That's where a kid like me comes in, because I did not just only have the toys. I did not just only have the comics. There were also video games.
Mm-hmm.
There were stories and books about those video games that tied into the in-betweens of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Prime example, my favorite Star Wars character is not in the movies and has since been either canceled or recanonized. I don't really know or care. Thanks, Kathleen Kennedy. His name is Dash Rendar. Dash Rendar was basically a Chuck Norris version of Han Solo when Han Solo was frozen in carbonite, captured by Jabba the Hutt.
Okay.
Dash Rendar is Carillion. Dash Rendar was the best friend, spy, espionage agent of Luke Skywalker. He was basically he was Luke Skywalker's John Wick,
Yeah.
if you will. And he had I know you've seen this spaceship, everybody. It's the wide Millennium Falcon. It's the wide Carillion style ship. It's called the Outrider. So when you played through the video game called Shadows of the Empire, it's available on Good Old Games, I believe, and Steam.
Type in the chat if you played it.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Shadows of the Empire basically put you in the shoes of that character, Dash Rendar. You got to go on this adventure, not just a Star Wars adventure. You did it for Luke Skywalker. Mm-hmm. So you felt like you were on a mission for the person who was set to bring balance back to the Force. You felt like you were a hand in on that.
Yeah. Well, that's part of good storytelling.
Thank you.
And that's something that's severely lacking. But back to the previous point though, the generation right now that their moms and dads seen The Force Awakens announced, and they took their kids and said, "Okay, we're gonna watch something," and they watched episode 1 through 6, and then went to the theaters to watch 7. they're not going to do the same thing that Tommy was talking about when Phantom Menace dropped. They don't have that gap and that buildup of why these 3 or these 6 are better than this nonsense that our generation has, because we've had how many years since the prequel trilogy dropped?
So Revenge of the Sith is 2004?
2004. So I mean, we had 21 years. We've grown up. I mean, it's 21 years ago. I mean, hell, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
You know?
I just turned 14.
So it's one of those things of like, I've had all this time to
2005. Sorry. Please continue.
20 years ago still. Okay, I just could buy a pack of cigarettes legally. It was, I've had enough time to grow and appreciate, and I always liked Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. I didn't like little kid Anakin. I just personally wasn't a fan
that
of
actor had a whole bunch of flack.
But he did what he could, and I personally, knowing that him and Amidala were supposed to hook up, I was like, Amidala is damn near 20 years old, and the old boy's 12. Like, bro. I've heard of robbing the cradle, but sheesh.
Right.
Like, but hey, if you can't find a good man, raise one.
Edward Furlong.
Edward Furlong.
Please continue.
Now,
I can't shout anybody out.
Now, there's no gap for the newer kids, the kids that are going to Star Wars worlds at Disney with their parents. There isn't a gap there.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be a gap with my children, with any of our children. They're going to watch all of them. They're going to watch the dog shit in between stuff that we've got, except for Acolyte. You're not allowed to watch that one. don't watch that one. That one's just
Skip over.
bad.
With the amount of apathy that is set into a fan like me,
Yeah.
I haven't watched Acolyte, and this is
I've
my
tried.
take. This is right. So
I tried.
this is the thing about the marketing for the new Star Wars, is that they feel like they have to lie to the fans.
Yeah, it's the only way you can get them to even give it a shot.
So
Well, yeah, what makes you say that?
Carrie Ann Moss was in all of the marketing for the Acolyte, all of it,
Yeah.
every single one of it. Not Rue from the Hunger Games, all of it.
Yeah.
Trinity from The Matrix, Carrie Ann Moss, was the Jedi that you were seeing in the trailers. You saw her lightsaber, you saw her lines, you saw her face. You knew who that was. That was Trinity from The Matrix. So you would sit down and go, let me watch this. Dead in 10 seconds.
At least they didn't reveal anything like they usually do during the trailers.
Yeah. You know what, man?
End transmission.
He's gonna mute my mic.
No.
Probably not allow him to have the
You need
audio
to be here,
equipment over
David.
there.
Please.
So
Give me a little bit more credit than that.
No. Here. But I'm gonna drive that point a little farther home, because one of the things I've heard you bitch about the most is this trailer showed me too damn much. I know too much of how it ends, based off of the trailer. You got all the Carrie Ann Moss that you could have and want and hope for in the trailer.
And it still wasn't enough.
And then she died. So the season didn't get ruined for you.
It didn't get renewed either.
I mean, that's fair, but it didn't get ruined. That's the first point.
Well,
Because not a lot was revealed from the trailer.
not
She
a
was
lot.
also, wasn't she also like the top tier, like highest, like most well-known actor or actress that was involved with it at the time?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Unless
so,
you think Daphne Keene's bigger than Carrie Ann Moss now. It's a new time. But I digress, man. It's Carrie Ann Moss. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I'm not
She's
with
in the
them,
Matrix.
Carrie Ann Moss. You call me, okay?
Yeah, please call Danny.
Yeah, call him.
Please call Danny.
Don't call him.
Thanks for that. Please continue, Tommy.
No, man.
This is going to be a fun episode, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
for sure.
This is going to be a
Very happy
high
For sure.
shit on blood pressure.
I don't mind a bait and switch, man, because at the end of the day, I'm there for the story. We knew that Carrie Ann Moss was not going to be the focal point. They always, this is where they didn't give us a...
that you thought that she was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, what
No,
was it?
and that's the point
what
of
was
a bait
it
and
Mace Windu
switch.
said, yeah, she's too old. She can't be the focal point.
Henry Cavill's
Thank you, Samuel L.
The
Jackson.
entirety of Henry Cavill's career after Superman.
Well,
I mean,
we haven't gotten to it yet. There's
yeah.
a Highlander on the way.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I don't mind a
And
bait and
Voltron.
switch. The best part of Dusk Till
Warning.
Dawn is that you think you're in a crime movie until it's a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Carrie Ann Moss is being a bigger part of the show was not its downfall. The downfall was the execution in
The story.
an idea that could have been good that they didn't bring to fruition. But I hear you though, man.
Dr. Liz.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us.
type of one in the chat if you're a doctor or a lizard.
Yep, there it
Or
is.
both.
But I don't know, man.
You do know. Please.
I
continue.
think and I got to loop back around to it. I think at the core of it is that, and this is Kathleen Kennedy versus you versus me versus you, David, versus J.J. Abrams versus Ryan Johnson, and even versus George Lucas.
I feel
There's
like
what you're pulling from, and then there's what everybody else is pulling from.
Yeah.
So it becomes a question of what do you think Star Wars is, as opposed to what everybody else does. And I think that if we bring it back into that, we can start to figure out where everybody's going wrong. So through that lens, man, what is Star Wars to you? What is the canon? What is not the canon?
I
To
think.
me-
Let me
Yeah,
answer this first.
Yeah,
go
My
ahead,
answer is
David.
going to be far, far fucking shorter than yours. Okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. The 6 movies that was done by Lucas and the 3 scripts he had for the last 3 that we should have gotten.
I will agree
That
with you
is
there.
all canon is. Not the
Yes.
comics, not the video games, not the spin-off series,
I disagree
not
with
the
you.
which is why my answer is shorter
Yeah.
than yours.
It's argument
Not the
time.
novels, and not the 3 that Disney gave us.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 that we've seen on film, episodes 1 through 6, and then the 3 undone scripts that were done by George Lucas before he sold the property. That's all canon is. That's all canon should have been, regardless of interviews that George Lucas said, yeah, no, I looked at this, I approved it, and said it's okay to be canon. The fact that it did not come from George Lucas's pen makes it not canon.
Nope.
Star Wars is not one of those things like comics where you can sub out writers as they move on to other projects.
I disagree.
It's not multiple choice.
It's not multiple.
But mine's going to be similar to his, Danny, so go ahead.
When it comes to us fans in the 90s that had to fill the void after our parents showed us A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, our question was what happened in between. After we had those answers through the books, through the comic books, that actually taught me to learn how to read, that hold sentimental value. That's just me personally. The
Well,
video
now
games,
I know why you're holding on to it
The-
like a
the-
dog with a pork
the
chop.
video games, all of it tied all those loose ends. What happened with Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia while they went to go get Han Solo. Dash Rendar, when Dash Rendar fought Boba Fett with just a jetpack and his pistol, while Boba Fett had Slave One, his ship, and all of Boba Fett's nice little bells and whistles, his Inspector Gadget armor that he had at his disposal. Still wasn't enough. So you got to see how awesome other Star Wars characters could be. You got to see how much more in-depth Star Wars could be in between all of that. It's very difficult and offensive for someone to say to us, take that out of the canon, because that is a standard that had been set. That's a threshold that had been actualized. It's very difficult for someone just to tell us, didn't happen. What do you mean it didn't happen? I played Jedi Outcast. I know who Kyle Katarn is. I know who these characters are. You can't tell. I'm not going to say you can't tell us because you are.
I absolutely
It's
will.
very difficult for us to wrap our heads around that Luke had one student. It was his nephew, and he tried to kill him.
Okay.
That didn't make
So
any
in
sense
all
to
in
us.
all of your other shit
Because
that you've read,
in Jedi, let me finish. And in the video games, Jedi Outcast and Dark Alliance and everything else in between, there was a different answer because he had a Jedi Academy. It's a video game called Jedi Academy.
Okay.
Jedi Outcast.
what happened to all them students?
They were his army. They were Luke Skywalker. They were trying to be Jedi on their own. Luke Skywalker was trying to reestablish the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
That's why he had Padawan. Kyle Katarn is a character who was he was a scoundrel. He was a gambler, but he was somebody who eventually met Luke and was a Jedi. He was just like Han Solo, but he eventually got in touch with the Force and then broke away from it and then had to relearn everything going back to the Jedi Academy as an old man. The same way that Mace Windu and Yoda told Qui-Gon Jinn, yeah, Anakin can't be a Jedi, he's too old, I'm sorry. Now, hindsight's 2020. He turned out to be the Sith Lord. I understand that. But
Which
again,
made them right because he wasn't a Jedi technically.
But right, there you go. But you got to see that somebody could relearn the Force after they had neglected it, forgot about it, and went on to do other things.
Well, it had the ability for a redemption arc. So let me ask you this
Yes.
question then, because your point does not disprove my point at all, because you don't fucking know. Would you like to know why? I will tell you. Please ask me. Ask me, sweetheart. Please. Please ask me why. Please. I'm begging you. T, you ask me why.
Tell me something, David.
Okay.
Why?
What did
Let
I
us know.
say was canon?
Anything that George Lucas put his finger and his pen to paper on.
Okay. Now, the unknown 3 scripts that weren't George Lucas's, that should have been the last 3 movies, how do you know they didn't touch on any of that shit?
That's the question.
You don't, though.
That's the
Once
question.
again, so my statement could still be just as correct. Tommy's could be
And
just
we
as
won't,
correct.
But this is the problem.
We won't know unless George Lucas leaks it, or his
And they
estate
never
does.
will, because
Why wouldn't they?
They took, because Kathleen Kennedy exists. That's why.
Kathleen Kennedy is done and over with. It is still the estate's property. The Tolkien family leaks his journal writings and shit all the time.
They've been sitting on those scripts. First of all, he had those scripts.
Do we know he had them though? Has he ever
2000
actually confirmed that he had the 3
Yes.
scripts
Yes.
wrote?
Yeah,
Yes.
he said it in an
And
interview where
did
he
we-
wanted to pass the torch.
Has it been
Yes.
confirmed that it was?
And an article, I don't remember what
I
article
was gonna say,
it
do we
was.
know whether or not the 3 movies that Disney did were loosely his scripts or complete rewrites?
So
'Cause I haven't heard anything on that.
They vaulted them.
I remember hearing a video from Star Wars Theory where there's documentation in the book or something where they took stuff from what George Lucas's treatments were and did that.
Okay.
As far as the truth or validity to that, I need to see George Lucas or his estate
George
release
Lucas
it.
needs to pop in on the chat and say,
George,
yeah, no, you
jump
guys
in.
are fucking wrong, or you're 100% accurate. Maybe it's like, Bloody Mary, if we look into the camera and say his name 5 times or something.
George.
George
George.
Lucas.
But no, Danny, David, this is where I'm at. I'm pretty much where you are. The only thing that I'll add is that I'm going to add in Star Wars Clone Wars. And speaking,
The animated series?
Yeah.
that they did?
Which animated series? The one by Gennady
not
Tartakovsky?
no, the real one, the one that George Lucas had his stamp on, the one from like
See,
2008.
Again, because that the Gennady Tartakovsky one answered questions that led into Revenge of the Sith. The reason why, General Grievous
Oh, no,
had
yeah, the
toys.
cough.
Yes, General Grievous had toys all over the place, and you got to see this android alien thing with 4 lightsabers, and you go, because they released the toys, but this was a time where trailers weren't as easily accessible because of the internet and the way that it was at the time.
No.
There was no YouTube, and even YouTube in its infancy
Leroy Jenkins.
wasn't. Yeah, exactly.
What you shaking your head for?
It wasn't what it was
33.33
at the
repeating
time.
chance.
YouTube was still pumping out anime music videos and pieces of anime, and in its time, it just wasn't what it was.
No.
The same with the 90s, the late 90s and the early 2000s. Trailers weren't easily accessible. You had to get your butt up and go to the movies and pay your ticket just to see what was coming out that was new.
Watch
Our
commercials.
trailers were the action figures. Our trailers were the comics. Our trailers were the covers of those novels. That was our trailer. So when you see this alien hybrid android thing with 4 lightsabers, you go, what is that? What is that? I gotta go see this movie. And then he's just weak and frail and he's coughing.
Which you had to watch the Clone Wars to see.
Yes.
So, but this is the thing. If there was nothing in that Clone Wars short by Tartakovsky that contradicted those movies that George Lucas did, I'm okay. You can say that that's canon. I don't mind it. But fundamentally, and I don't mean it the way that she meant it, because I can't. Kathleen Kennedy was correct in saying that there's no source material for Star Wars. And the person that has that up at the top, the guy, the sainted George Lucas, he said the same thing. There's what he did, and then there's what he let other people do. He always reserved the right for Star Wars, the official canon, to be the stuff that he wrote, which is why he would contradict it. And I don't mean to take away or insult. This is coming from a fan of the Old Republic. I'm not trying to take away from the emotion that you have attached to it. But specifically, if we're talking about what's canon in Star Wars, it's the Dark Horse stuff is over there. And even George, if he felt like contradicting what they said the Clone Wars was, he would do it. Timothy Zahn is a wonderful artist. His writing is fantastic. The Thrawn trilogy is fine. I love that. And that's why I appreciate Dave Filoni now, because he understands that too. That's a wonderful story. It has no place in canon. So what's he trying to do? He's trying to please the fans by saying, let me find the nuggets that I can actually fit into what it is that we're doing and bring that forward. And in my estimation, that's the best that we're going to get to ever bring that legend stuff back, because he's doing it a service by making it canon in the first place.
Yeah.
He was on a panel for San Diego Comic-Con that was led by Queen Latifah. God only knows why. And he was accompanied by a few people. I can't remember who those people were. One of them was Guillermo del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
Guillermo del Toro was a gentleman who directed the Hellboy series, the first 2 Hellboy movies. He directed Pacific Rim. He directed Pan's Labyrinth. Phenomenal director, phenomenal movie maker, phenomenal visionary. When George Lucas was answering fan questions, you can see the look on his face, how defeated that man was for selling his franchise, because he knew that the Star Wars that he was answering questions for, the Star Wars that the fans were talking about, does not exist anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Regardless of how I feel about my canon, regardless of how anybody,
And I
it's
think
gone.
I think that's what it is right there. Right there. What is actual canon is not what is actual canon. What is canon is what you consider canon. I'm going to tell you right now, in 20 years, you're going to find people that are going to say the 9 movies are canon. You're going to find people that are going to say the 9 movies and the Disney Plus shows, including Acolyte, are canon. You're going to find people that are going to say all the comics, all the novels, all the video games, and a couple of the movies are canon, because it's what it means to them. What it means to me is if George Lucas did not write it, I don't give a fuck if he handpicked the asshole to write something, and he looked at somebody and says, I like the story you wrote, I want you to write something and put it under the Star Wars banner. I don't give a shit. It's not canon, because it didn't come from him.
and that's a fair
Just
assessment.
like nothing from Lord of the Rings is not canon if it didn't come from fucking Tolkien. I'll give his son credit. He's doing what he does, and he's at least living up to and semi-filling the shoes that his father left in the medieval fantasy spectrum. But canon is canon from the source. Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Terminator Dark Fate, all James Cameron, that's the 3. None of the other shit. James Cameron is the source, that is canon.
Did James
Harry Potter.
Did James Cameron direct Dark
No.
Fate?
Or yeah, Dark Fate, yes. It was the first time he came
I
back.
thought he produced it.
No, it was the first time that they all worked together again.
Please continue.
All right.
Oh, you're about to make some people mad.
J.K.
Harry Potter.
Rowling, Harry Potter. If it didn't come from her, it ain't fucking canon. I don't give a shit.
Now I see why you're saying
Fight me.
People are gonna get mad. Please continue.
Fight me.
Okay.
The source
That is a clip.
is the one that puts down what is canon and can authorize what is canon. Just like he said, Lucas can go against anybody else's shit that he wants to when he puts something out, because he's the source of the canon. That's the argument. That's the point.
But at this
You
point,
hold it as canon because of how significant it is to you, and until Lucas comes out and says that your favorite character in your favorite video game is actually somebody that would have been in these other movies that was in the script, that motherfucker don't exist. I'm sure he was there because Star Wars is not the isolated incidents in the planets that we've seen in the ships that we traveled with. Absolutely. There was other shit, other people doing all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike, I guess, most fans, I didn't have any questions that made me want to seek out novels and comics and everything, because I was satisfied with the movies I was presented as the story that I needed to be told.
if it
Okay.
wasn't
Last rebuttal, Danny.
if it wasn't the questions that we had because we were children, we didn't have any questions. We just wanted more Star Wars.
Yeah.
So
I see. I just always restarted the film. I just fucking hit play again.
so to your point, when there was a special edition VHS editions of the original trilogy.
Yeah. They put them out like every 10 years.
They had interviews with Leonard Maltin, who's a very accomplished movie critic, was interviewing George Lucas. It was very touching for somebody like us, because you never got to see the creator or the director comment about the love that they had.
No,
what
the
they
behind
tried
the scenes
to do,
shit really didn't get
what-
big until DVD.
right? What they tried, and they were the early adapters of it.
Yeah.
On VHS was Lucasfilm and his Lucas company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that time, you saw the love that George Lucas had for the entirety of Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
Which felt to us that we were on that ship with George Lucas.
Absolutely.
Okay. And as we move on, I think that you guys decide in the chat what's canon, what's not canon, the same way that we do. But with that being said, and this is another thing I'm going to steal from Filoni, Star Wars is essentially a bunch of guys at the campfire retelling a bunch of stories.
Yeah.
Lucas says that the way that he's telling it is through the lens
Can
of
you
R2-D2.
make a fire in the atmosphere of space?
Depends. Not in mine, but I didn't do mine. But Lucas basically said that R2-D2 is the lens that he tells his Star Wars story through, which is why R2-D2 always saves everybody. Who's to say that on that campfire over there, the story's not being told a different way?
No, the only campfire story the only campfire I've ever seen the Star Wars story being told around was Reign of Fire.
Never heard of it, man.
Oh, dude, it's a dragon movie.
The Matthew McConaughey film?
Yeah,
with
Matthew
Christian
McConaughey
Bale.
and Christian Bale, yeah.
Okay, then I'm glad I did not. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah, it was a reference. So
There's gotta be more metal.
in the movie, world ends. It's end of days because dragons exist and they've been hibernating and they come out and fuck shit up. Well, to entertain the survivors, the populace, you've got Matthew McConaughey. Like, there's a couple of them, and what they're doing is they're acting out the famous scene of when Luke was told. Like, they do the hand cutting off thing, and the kids are all gasping because dude's got his hand hidden in his sleeve, and he stops and he pulls his hand out just to show it's still there. Yeah, it's hysterical. It shows you what things like this that we love, that we'll argue, because me and Danny are, believe it or not, really good friends. Like, I kind of like this little shit. But
11 to 14 years, something like that?
yeah, so fucking forever.
I got him in a divorce.
But we'll facts. But we'll argue and go to war over this in this type of discussion. But in an end of days scenario, the bombs drop, dragons come back, zombies happen to keep the surviving group together and calm and entertained. We are going to tell these stories. We are going to act out these movies that we just know by heart because we have seen them and the love that we have for them, at least the people from before the war. And it will pass down and become the mythology. It will become Luke will become the Hercules of this.
Yeah.
Dude, when 4 more civilizations are built on top of this shit and they dig down in the hole and they come into this shop, they're going to say, look at these books, all the documentation of the gods of old.
Yeah.
And that's what the hell this is.
A man of
This
fact.
is our mythology.
Let's talk about that balance. When Kathleen Kennedy when Kathleen Kennedy hired J.J. Abrams to make the first movie and the second, all we wanted as fans, you guys could agree or disagree with me, all we wanted as fans was to get Luke, Han, Leia, maybe Chewie,
Absolutely,
maybe
Chewie.
C-3PO, maybe R2-D2.
I was actually pissed that C-3PO and R2-D2 weren't in the films more.
My point exactly. All we wanted was a shot, one shot on film
Yeah.
with all of them together at once,
Well,
one last time, forever.
yeah.
We never got that.
No, you never seen them on screen all
We
together.
did not get that at all. Han Solo was killed. Spoiler alert. Carrie Fisher had unfortunately passed away as an actress,
Yeah.
so they had to piece together this Frankenstein of a movie after Rian Johnson just ruptured the second film. Spoiler alert. And Luke Skywalker ended up dying because he used too much of the Force. And then what
I don't
is
think I could
going
have.
on?
Well,
What's going on?
let me ask you this then: how do you think that it would have worked for Luke to go then? Like, how could Luke have gone?
He shouldn't have.
What do you mean he shouldn't have?
Here's
man?
the thing about that.
every single warrior, all of the Jedi, all with the exception of Yoda, who passed on his knowledge and his abilities and training to Luke.
He was also 900 years old. Please
Once
continue.
again, but go out fighting. I mean, even Obi-Wan, he went out fighting.
He wasn't even out fighting. He was using the Force to pretend he was fighting.
Okay, and what happened to him? He disappeared. But he was also an old dude.
Anticlimactic.
So was Luke. I mean, yeah, Obi-Wan's death was anticlimactic, but the thing was because it affected us so much because we knew we had a love for this character so early on.
But there was mystique behind Obi-Wan Kenobi. We knew the type of character that Luke Skywalker was. So for him to hermit out on some random planet,
I still say it makes sense for him.
Is not character development, it's character assassination. Especially with someone like us, fans like us, who grew up knowing who Luke was, not just through the films, but through the extended canon that thread all of those loose ends together.
Well, let's get specific then. Why is it character assassination? What is it about their character that they took away from them that's hurting you so much?
Foundationally speaking, when you saw Luke Skywalker, whether if it was on the page of a comic, or you saw his name in the book, or you saw him in a video game talking, it was almost as if Captain America in space was talking to you. It was almost as if a character that was Kirk and Spock talking to you. It was like Superman with a laser sword was talking to you. It was almost as if... I'm trying to find an anime that
So a character that significant, that powerful, that awe-inspiring, that commands that type of presence.
And not even commands, exudes.
Exudes, just pisses fucking excellence. Sets up, builds up everything, gets where he feels he needs to be. And then, in a twist, as if written by a story that has entire arcs of success, failure, and redemption, fails. You don't think that it's beyond them to go be the old man on the mountaintop while they reassess, reestablish, and work through the shit in there? Without any distraction. It's beneath of my ass. Fucking Captain America disappeared after Civil War for how long?
He gave himself up because he saw a...
He disappeared after the team he built imploded on itself. Who's the other characters you named? Superman. Superman has an entire fucking ice place called the Fortress of Cocksucking Solitude. Where the fuck you think he goes? Dr. Manhattan took his ass to Mars.
That is a different type of character.
My ass. It is an all-powerful, excellence-pissing, exuding character that can rule, live, love, or destroy everything.
Dr. Manhattan never believed in the power of humanity.
No, he didn't, but he was, once again, these are characters, these are characters that all fit that same niche and archetype, and when they have a massive failure, they all go into solitude to fucking assess. Find me a character that hasn't. Batman does it every other day. Dude,
yes,
it worked for Luke. You don't like it, therefore it don't work for you.
It wasn't just me that didn't like it. Look at the state that Star Wars is in right now.
The state that Star Wars is in is
apathy for anything extra. Look at...
See, I don't think that has much to do with the 3 movies, to be honest with you. I think it has
Andor.
a lot...
Andor's the show.
I think it has a lot more to do with the shows.
Don't say Andor, because I'm going to heat up.
There we go. Thank you. You just proved a point of mine. Thank you, Tommy. Please continue.
Once again, find me a character in any story. I mean, hell, Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, I'm with you.
Did he not go off into...
So
did he or not?
So
yeah,
yes,
it's a yes or no question.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I don't know. No, stop. I don't need explanation. I don't need backstory. I don't give a shit. I have literally named off all the characters you love and have proven the point that it works for Luke. I'm pretty sure Goku goes off and does the shit too every now and then.
No, he's too stupid.
Okay.
No, he took a trip to Yardrat, and then he said, between the Boo saga and the Namek, the Cell saga, don't bring me back.
But then he came back.
Of course he comes back. He's a hero.
He's the fucking hero.
He's the
Well,
protagonist.
Wait a second. You mean did he come back like Luke? Because he's the fucking hero?
So, okay, that leads into my point.
It leads into mine.
These characters always come back to the rightful place.
Did he come back to the right place and fought against his nephew? Yay or nay? Yes or no?
No, that wasn't him coming back. That was him. That was
projecting.
Again,
Force projecting.
Again, that was character assassination. That was him beneath himself.
That was him redeeming himself.
You
for the
blackpilled
failure
yourself
of-
with this Dark Horse canon, Danny.
Look, man, I'm telling you that was
messing
him.
with
That
you.
was him redeeming himself for the failure that he gave. That he
It's
set
a standard
that
that
had
had been set, Tommy. That's
Period.
a
Absolutely.
threshold that has been
And
met.
I'm really
We
hoping
can't-
that Lucas comes out one of these days and says, "Yeah, that whole Luke Skywalker arc, that was me," and then I can give you the finger and say, "Ha, bitch, it was canon." Every character has that. I have to go and disappear and do some shit and meditate. It always happens. The hero always has to have a moment, and that is how they can figure out their redemption arc. Now, I agree with you. It was cut very, very fucking short, and the 3 movies should have been about that. The first movie, they should have found him. The second movie, they should have convinced him. The third movie, he should have been working on his way back. That's how it should have been. And yes, it should have taken Han to go find Leia and convince them we got to go find Luke because our son is fucking up, and then go find Luke, and then the family, and then you have a shot with the cute little birdie things that Chewie was
That
eating.
happened in the extended canon. That actually happened in the extended canon, but they weren't as old as they were.
Well, once again, though, that's how it should have been. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I am disagreeing with is it's not character assassination for the hero to go off onto the mountaintop to reassess and figure shit out and be depressed for a little while, because when you have the weight of not the world but the fucking universe on your shoulders, the shit kind of gets to you.
Yes, but not remain there. They were under.
He didn't. He came back.
Rian Johnson, and I'm going to call him that forever. Rian Johnson made it seem as if Luke was going to be there. You guys ever seen Sandlot? Forever.
So,
but he's human.
Until some nobody, I'm sorry, Daisy Ridley, until some nobody with 3 letters to their name, who isn't a Jedi, came and said, "Hey, here's your lightsaber." For him to just throw it over his shoulder and drink milk from some creature. And
Which, by the way, the Disney version of that, like at Disneyland, cool concept, not very good tasting.
green milk is not tasty.
Well, it's not green, like it's just, but like, you know,
they would have done a better
the
job.
blue
taking,
one wasn't that good either.
They would have done a better job taking Lucky Charms, soaking it in milk, and then serving it to other people.
It would have
cold.
actually tasted a lot better.
Thank you.
It would have tasted a lot better. Than
Thank
that
you.
stuff.
They
Like,
just-
I don't know what the fuck it was, but it wasn't.
Or
good.
Fruity Pebbles or something.
Yeah. Now, once again, every hero goes through that, and the time that they go through that is always fucking montaged, so you don't know how long it is.
Yeah, but he didn't get his Rocky training montage.
He didn't need it. He got it in. He got it in. Which one was it?
He
With
didn't
Yoda.
need it because there
He
wasn't
got
time
it.
to have
He got it in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
There you go.
That was early on in that character's arc.
Well, this is the thing, Danny, because you guys are gonna loop around in a circle. I think that this is the issue. We saw Luke Skywalker's story. It ended in Return of the Jedi. Like George Lucas said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Luke Skywalker was now a character in another person's story.
Yeah.
And
He was Yoda.
the execution isn't what we would have liked it to be. But him being the old master that failed and is now being redeemed by his next generation, his next charge, that's a wonderful idea. You're an old guy, you failed, and now you leave it up to the next generation.
And you're bitter about it, which is why you toss your lightsaber behind you, because it reminds you of all of the loss, all of the failure. Do you think Yoda was truly happy to see another Jedi when Luke came to find him? Dude was in hiding. He felt and you've seen that.
Yes.
That was beautifully done in
Yes.
Attack of the Clones.
Yes,
You've
absolutely.
seen him feel.
Revenge of the Sith.
Was it Revenge? Okay,
Yeah, Revenge
whatever.
of
the-
You've seen him feel every Jedi being slain.
Yes.
You've seen that on that little 3D animated puppet's face,
That-
and you felt for it. You're telling me that Luke feeling that for his one student that was his blood, or all of the Jedi Council in the extended horseshit you call canon, you're telling me that failure, that life mission, doesn't entitle that man to 30 years of sitting there not fucking thinking about
This
it?
is the problem. To go
Eat
back
my
to
ass,
go
bro.
back
Come
to the, You're not my
on.
type. To go back to the extended canon, Luke and Leia had twins. What are Rey and what are Kylo Ren? They're basically extended relatives.
Well, Rey's
Well, she's a Palpatine.
They set
That's
it
a whole
up
other
before
thing.
they knew. Before they knew what
Which-
the second and third movie was going to be, they hinted and led up to Rey and Kylo Ren
I
being
think that-
so connected
I think
within
that
the Force
was. I think that
they
was
were
just
related.
I think that was a red herring. I think
Now-
that was. I think
I
that was
saw
something
that.
that they were
But
just. You know.
that is because Rey was so mechanically adept.
She was the Anakin.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the mechanic. She was.
No,
she,
Anakin.
Oh no, no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
she-
what I'm, that's
she
not
was-
what I'm
she
talking
was this
about.
trilogy's
That's fine.
Anakin,
That's
is
not
what
what I'm
I'm
talking about.
She really loves sand, though.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
And blow up bread.
Mhm.
But I digress. She was impressing Han so much with her mechanical expertise when she never put her hands on a Corellian ship, let alone the Millennium Falcon, to
No.
begin with. So that led us to believe that red herring. Oh, he's the daughter. They're gonna do the extended canon stuff because in the extended canon, Han and Leia had twins. The female was a Jedi. The male, the nephew of Luke, was a Sith.
Mm-hmm. I'm not disagreeing with
So-
any of that. And the first part of that, where you kind of got that red herring shit, that might have been from Lucas because he might have been going there. We won't know unless we decide to go ahead and fuck it. Let's plan a Heat-style heist right now and go hit into the Disney vault and release the scripts.
Val De
I think I
Niro,
saw
where
a
are
movie
you,
like
man?
that once.
Yeah, look.
Oh,
But-
May Val
But
come,
yeah,
rest in
man,
peace.
we're going around in a circle. Let the people decide for themselves.
Yeah.
What's canon, what they should have done for Luke, what shouldn't they've done.
No, fuck that.
But
I
why?
want to know, do you all think that Luke was entitled to a couple of decades of solitude and just being pissed off at the universe? Because I feel like he was. I
Stole
feel
my
like he
thunder.
definitely earned that shit. Be mad about it, bro.
It wasn't earned. It was thrown at him.
I mean,
He didn't deserve that.
No,
Again,
no hero
character
deserves
assassination.
it. No hero deserves the failure that they have, but that's what makes them the hero. Is after they reassess, which could take days, weeks, months, years, centuries. We don't know. They have the ability to do that. I think they earn a little bit of R&R and the ability to fucking ignore some shit. I mean, Michelangelo did it.
Oh, Last Ronin.
The Last Ronin, yep.
Thank you. Like every single,
Well,
every character, all of them, fucking all of them.
that was different because he went back to assess to come back for revenge.
They all
And
still
speaking
did
of, I want to talk about another green guy,
that.
Yoda.
Okay.
So, you've seen the prequels. You've seen the prequels.
Yeah.
We can all agree that that's canon.
Yes.
Do you guys think that Yoda was bad at his job?
I think he was
No,
looking for the good in everything
before
just
that,
like
before
Luke
that,
was.
no, before that, we need to be in agreement on what we think Yoda's job was.
Oh, that's
So
a good
you
question.
pose the question. What do you?
Okay.
Which job are you talking about? Because Master Yoda had quite a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Good point, David.
at the beginning of the prequels, Yoda is the Jedi. He's the Grand Master. He's the one that everyone looks up to.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that is the standard bearer for the Force. He's the guy that gives the teachings to all of the Jedi under.
I was gonna say, I believe he was the oldest too,
Right.
so he'd been around for as long as Metachlorians.
900 years.
He's supposed to be the person with the teachings of the light side to give to the next generation to defeat the Sith. Fundamentally, he's the guy that safeguarded the Jedi from that defeat.
No.
And at every turn, Yoda ends up making the wrong decision. So what I'm asking you is, as the guy on top, as the guy who the buck is supposed to stop with, was Yoda bad at his job as the Grand Master of the Jedi?
You could say both yes and no.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Yoda was just trying to find the good in everything and everyone. Yoda, just like Luke, felt that even if you were Sith, you were redeemable.
I don't know about that, Danny. I really don't. Because the tenet for the Jedi is if you see a Sith, you got to kill him.
Yeah, technically. And Yoda would have been the one to write that shit down. To quote Aslan, don't quote the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was written.
That's a good pull.
All right. Now, the answer is no. There is no yes and no. No. Yoda was not bad at his job. Just like everything else in the world, what you hand somebody and what they do with it is out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what you're selling, what you're shoveling, what you're pushing. All right. Whether it's goods, services, religion, belief systems, Anything you give to somebody, they are going to take it and use it how they will. That is out of your control. All right? I can sell you a video game. It's not my fault if you take it and think that it's canon to the greater lore, even though it's not.
Except Knights of the Old Republic. That's all canon.
That's absolutely okay. I'll agree with that one. But, you know, Yoda had the teachings because he was there when the shit got started, or
video game.
real close to it. He passed it down.
Mm-hmm.
How people interpreted that, how people reacted to that, and how they handled it and moved forward, given the powers and the lessons of how to control the Force. That's what made a Sith anyways.
There are two sides of every coin, David.
Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that, which is why you had a Dark Lord that was also a teacher who taught how to be an asshole. Did he not? Did he not?
Which why there was only two at the time.
This is why you have
so many
the
Jedi.
Savior and the Corruptor. The Protector and the Corruptor. You have that. You always have those two sides.
Saint and sinner.
Yoda taught you what you need to do. The bad guy, the Corruptor, is the one that tried to tempt you and say you could be more powerful than he could say. It's the snake in the garden with the apple of knowledge. That's all it was. That's all it ever was. All right? I can hand you everything you need to know, and with time, patience, devotion, clarity, and stability in your person, you can become all-powerful like Little Green Man, or that asshole over there with the funny eyes and the electrical powers. He can go ahead and fast-track you through pain, suffering, and torture, but it's quick. Yoda didn't control that. And try as he might, because, yeah, you can sense and kind of see shit in the future. And he did say, it's unclear, it's foggy, because the future is never set. It's always changing based off of different events.
Yes.
All right, and micro events. So, no. I disagree with you on yes and no. I'm sorry, Nightwing, that was a dumb fucking answer. But there are no dumb answers.
I have to sit here on yes and no, but please continue.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you absolutely. But no, because once again, I can hand you an AK-47. I can't control if you use it for good or evil, but I can sell it to you and teach you how to use it. That's all I can do. I can show you the way. Beyond that,
that was the thing about being a Jedi, is that had to be earned. Even at a very infantile young age, that had to be earned.
Yeah.
You had to be not sought out, but it had to be seen within you. And if someone young was corrupted by evil, they believed that you can be turned back to the will of the Force. That's why Qui-Gon believed in. Now I understand. This is why Qui-Gon believed in Anakin.
Yeah. Because he had a lot of troubles and everything like that, and there was some rage issues. We all knew that, especially the loss of his mother. But once again, to the tenement Tommy pointed out, you see a Sith, you kill a Sith. To the point you made, there is good in everybody, and everybody can be redeemed, absolutely. But does that make Yoda bad at his job?
No.
Because here's the thing is, you're a really good bad guy when you can take all the lessons from the good guy and use them against them. That makes you a real good bad guy. What was Yoda's job? To teach people the ways of the Force. I believe every bad guy in Star Wars that wielded a lightsaber knew the ways of the Force pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't think Yoda was bad at his job.
Or they were fast-tracked to that point, to your earlier point.
Yeah. But at that point, Yoda didn't have nothing to do with that part of the job. Palpatine was clearly good at his.
He was really good at
his.
his.
There you go.
So for my
Ray
money
Palpatine,
on that,
not Ray Skywalker. Please continue.
no, you get to choose your last name. It's Star Wars.
You did Star Wars. You
Yeah,
create your own character adventure.
Yeah. Didn't
My
we already...
name is Star Killer.
Yeah. That's the script I want to see. That's
man.
what it is. I don't want to see Star Wars no more.
How did he end up in Soul Calibur?
Oh, funny story. But as I go back to what I was talking about,
But do you think he was bad at his job? Because I want to know your opinion.
I think that, to answer your question, no. Yoda was set up to fail. Because at that point in time,
That's where the yes and no comes in. Please continue.
Palpatine his plot had already been moving forward, and the Jedi had moved further and further away from what they were supposed to be long before Yoda ever took over the reins. Because I think fundamentally, at the point in time where he was the Grand Master, the Jedi teachings were incorrect.
Did they ever state how old Palpatine was?
Oh, man. I want to say and don't quote me on this.
Is he younger than Yoda?
I
I feel like he
roughly
was
the same
I
age?
think he was able to transfer his essence through the Force into different hosts, different bodies. If I'm not mistaken, there was just a point where he stayed in one host too long. He couldn't do that anymore, but he was still all powerful. To my knowledge, that's what that is. Anybody in the chat, anybody in the comment section, please tell me I'm wrong.
No, the campfire I heard the story under was that it had been a Sith plot for 1,000 years,
Okay.
passed down from master to apprentice, to where Palpatine reaped the benefits of it to overthrow the Jedi.
Okay. So, regardless of the fact, neither one of them were bad at their job. Just one of them had an easier gig of it. That's really all it
Yes.
is.
So by the time that Yoda had become the guy in the Jedi, I truly do think that the Jedi had lost their way and become a force that they were never meant to be, which is why there was an imbalance in the Force, and which is why you see Order 66 happen in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve it, but everything was out of balance. And balance was never going to be achieved with those thousands of Jedi spouting the wrong understanding of the Force.
Okay, fair enough. But once again, you can't control what you do. You can't control what happens with the knowledge once you. I mean, hell, we've seen that for hundreds of years now with the actual Bible. In real life, with religious doctrine, is people take it, they take bits and pieces of it that fit their agenda, and they push that forward. And it doesn't matter what religion it is, all of them, every single one of them. So, and it's the same thing. Truthfully, Star Wars is literally just a Bible story,
That's it, man.
start to finish.
With mythology and some politics sprinkled in there, you're right.
with politics and mythology.
Ar-
That's
Ar-
all it is boiled down.
Arthurian, some Arthurian
Yeah.
elements
Samurai.
sprinkled in there. Yep, absolutely. World War II elements as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the aesthetic part of
it is Star Wars, and I think that's probably part of the reason why Star Wars hits home with so many people, even if you're not a sci-fi fan, is it has elements of everything in it, and it casts a wide enough net, whether you're a spiritually religious person, whether you're a politically inept person, whether you're mythology, whether you're historian,
if you love
economical,
mechanics 'cause of the
mechanical
ships,
shit,
yeah.
And fantasy lightsaber fights, sword fights with lasers
If you're
and
a
shit.
Flash Gordon fan, because a whole lot of what Star Wars was
Yeah.
the serialized Flash Gordon.
It touches a lot of people in passions that they have that you wouldn't normally associate with a pop culture hobby.
Flash. Sorry, I had to do that.
No, you didn't. But
Please, kids.
we appreciate it. But it touches you outside of your normal fandom.
Yeah.
That you would have, things that you wouldn't take to a level of passion regularly. People get into heated debates about religion and politics and economics and all that stuff, but to look at it through a pop culture lens, Star Wars does that very, very good.
Yes.
And harmonizes a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even mobster shit with the Jabba the Hutt bits.
Oh,
who we
boy.
got
Yeah,
here?
somebody's talking to us.
Oh no,
No, it's
we
somebody
got,
that's
we
a
got
robot.
we got a spam bot in here.
Another whole bot.
Yep, Holbots.
Hey,
These are not the droids you're looking for.
keep talking.
Yeah.
No, that was pretty much it.
Well, this droid found what it was looking for. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it found 4 viewers.
Thank
2 viewers. It didn't even find 4. It found 2 viewers.
Thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
Did we find the block and piss off button for these things?
We'll find it another time when we're not streaming in front of people.
Yeah, right. But that was kind of it.
But no, that's a wonderful way to put it, man.
First 6 and then the 3 unfinished scripts. That's all canon is.
See, and I wonder what those 3 unfinished scripts were, because everything that Kathleen Kennedy, Jar Jar Abrams, and Rian Johnson did were pulled from the extended universe after they canceled it because they had no ideas left, because they had ravaged the series to the point where they had no other choice.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Well, it sounds like
Now,
It sounds like we need to go find George Lucas and talk to
Now-
him.
we got to
let's-
make a trip to
now let's-
Skywalker Ranch.
Now let's look
Is
at
he
these
even on
Marvel
that anymore?
comics. Let's look at these Marvel comics that are on the shelf here. The High Republic, to your point,
There's Dark Horse.
that's Dark Horse. There's Marvel comics
I know
right
it's
behind
Marvel.
you. So, the High Republic, to your point,
Yeah.
If you see if a Jedi sees a Sith, you're supposed to kill it. This was about 1,500 years before the Skywalker saga, something like that.
100.
100 years before the. Oh, jeez.
Mhm.
100 years before the.
Smidge off there, Nightwing.
I don't.
I could be wrong too. I didn't read it.
I'm gonna tell you right. I'm gonna tell you right now. It was between episode 3 and episode 4.
several years before all those movies.
Yeah.
Basically, the Jedi were Pinkerton agents.
Yeah.
Cops with a vein on their forehead, with a gun that did what they felt was necessary to get the job done.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line between being a competent Jedi and or you're just another asshole with a lightsaber? Because I could teach some dude martial arts who's good and he'll use it for good.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and Tommy, you know what I'm talking about, or you just teach an asshole who just so happens to be a police officer how to do an armbar. Now you have an asshole that knows how to do an armbar.
No, I mean that's all goes.
Who just so happens to wear a badge.
That all goes on to the individual person. You cannot hold the teacher responsible for the students. You can't, because yeah, I taught them right from wrong. I taught them how to do the stuff. I taught them how to take care of themselves, how to protect others. I don't own them. I don't control them. You know, and yeah, I agree. It is the entire, too much power, too much authority, and of course, once again, power corrupts. The Jedi became too powerful. That's not arguable. That is canon. All right, it is mentioned in the Source 6. The Jedi became too strong for their own good. They had to be quelled a little bit, because at a certain point,
A little bit.
just like every single organization, they get too big for their britches at one point, and you cannot control and hold everybody fully accountable, regardless of how much you try and how many outposts that you put out there and how many leaders, because you never know if that leader is trying to make a play for Yoda's throne. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again, and there are an infinite number of examples of that happening in all mythology, in all pop culture, and in all stories, and shit, in reality. It happens, and there's nothing that can ever be done about it, because you cannot be, you can't hold the idea accountable for the people that use it, and that's the disconnect. Because people see somebody do something bad in the name of an idea, everybody blames the idea, not the person that did the bad.
What made Luke Skywalker as a character so unique is that he was meant not only to bring balance back to the Force, but to break that cycle.
Yeah.
Which is why he brought his father back from the light, even if it was just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh no! Not no to that, because you're right. He made his father a Jedi again. He brought him back to the light side.
Made him or helped him realize. Because as David, I do agree with you on this, David. As we talked about, you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. It has to be inherently within them.
There was enough love that Vader had for Amidala and for their children that he would step up to his master and throw him down that shithole chute to save his only son. That's all that was.
Oh, for sure.
That was less coming back to the light side and more saving my family. I think it was a love for family, not a redemption.
I can't sit this down. I hate to disagree with you, man.
No,
but now, because in real life.
Oh boy!
Because
Here we go.
Because his points haven't landed at all. So I'm gonna need somebody.
Oh please!
Now,
please continue. Just saying that to piss me off.
Absolutely.
Or trying to.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta get your goat.
Now, if this were real life and that were Anakin
I
Jones
shaved.
and Luke Jones, you're spot on. I'm not a good guy, but I'm going to do this one good thing for my son.
Yeah.
But in Star Wars, there's a dichotomy. There is no room for interpretation. You're either on the light side or you're on the dark side. So I'm probably going to paraphrase George Lucas very badly here. All right, so you see in Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker has the upper hand on Darth Vader. His hate is overwhelmed Darth Vader because Darth Vader is conflicted. Mm-hmm. I'm fighting my son here. we got to go get Emperor Palpatine, but I'm fighting my son here. Meanwhile, your son is attacking you full force. You chopped his hand off. He doesn't want to hear any of that. And now this guy that's going to get you replaced by your son is egging him on. But then, to Danny's point, that's where Luke Skywalker starts to
Be a Jedi.
be a Jedi, a true Jedi. The teachings that Yoda later in his life started to hand down. I feel hatred for my father right now. But he does the thing that Anakin can never do. He throws that selfishness down and says that, okay, right now, there's what I want to do. But I know that right now, this is my father and he needs me to not do this. And if I give in to this, now I serve this thing here. And Luke Skywalker does the one thing that in action movie history, if it were anybody else, you would look at him like they were crazy. He takes his weapon and he throws it down. And he says, no, I'm a Jedi like my father before me.
Yes, sir.
And that's the thing, that's that conflict in that moment. It wakes Darth Vader, Anakin up, and he says, no, you're right. And that's when Vader does the same thing that Anakin does. He throws that selfishness away. He throws away, I need these things. I need Padme. Padme can't die. I need my son to be with me because I need it. We got to get rid of Palpatine, and then we can rule the galaxy. He does the thing that he doesn't want to do. I don't need these things anymore. I can let them go for my son. And that's when he picks Palpatine up. And in doing this act of throwing Palpatine down to his death, he sacrifices himself.
But
he throws himself down and turns to the light side.
You just proved my point.
But
I'm
I'm
did
saying
it because it's his son.
I thought you were disagreeing with me on the light side, dark side thing.
No. It does not matter how you go from the light side to dark
Oh,
side
well,
to
shit,
light
man.
side. Or
Fist
back
bump me.
or- Yeah, no.
Okay.
His son, the remaining bloodline, the last part of Padme, the thing that he loved the most, that drove him to the dark side, is there fighting him from the light side and trying to be the light side for him. Is the love of his son
You're
that
spot on.
caused him to throw Palpatine over.
I misunderstood you.
Yeah,
You're spot on.
No. I agree. Cut
He
and
did-
dry.
he
Light
did
side,
mention
dark
that,
side.
yeah.
Okay.
But there's got to be a reason to pull
No,
you.
for sure. For sure.
And that's the thread. Whether it's love, hate, desire, greed, there is something that pulls you one way or the other.
One or the other.
Now let me ask you this: was Darth Vader a true Sith? Because was that always within him, or was that just a spur of the moment act?
Oh, and that's just getting fun.
Because if that was something that was always within him, he would not have made that decision.
Well, now you're asking the question, what's the nature of the dark side versus the light side?
Well, that again, it depends. To David's point, it depends on the person.
It depends on the person. It depends on what pulls you in one way or the other. But here's the thing, too, though, is what makes a Sith. Define Sith right now. With all your extended universe knowledge, define the word Sith.
Incorruptible. I'm sorry. So, very corruptible.
Very corrupted.
Yes.
Okay?
Extremely corrupted.
That's it?
So it's someone who isn't able to let go. So it's someone who has hate, has these emotions, and has these feelings that they hold on to them and they let them fester. And then they seek further and further into those feelings. And they feel more despair, more hate, more anger. It's a weight on your shoulders that constantly becomes heavier.
We're back, folks.
Yeah, sorry about that. Batteries died on this. That's the downfall of wireless mics. So,
I have no idea where we were.
We have no idea where we left off. What was the last thing that was heard? Batteries are important. You know, if you've been watching like you were supposed to, like we had charged you to, we entrusted you to.
One of us has to be an adult.
You could have said, "Hey, did you all hit mute?
We're nerds.
Because
It's very
we
difficult."
can't hear a word you're saying." And look, she's probably not. And look, Baby Lobster, you could have sat him down. This is entertainment right here for the whole family. So
I hear that keyboard right now.
Yeah, no. See, once again, you could have sat him in front of us, and we could have
Welcome
taken
to
care of it.
the show.
Exactly. Anyway, hopefully it wasn't very long. We'll find out once we pull the VOD.
I'm taking care of my child.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's the lobster. That's the lobster. Absolutely. Put him down. Let him enjoy the show too.
This podcast is more important.
Absolutely.
But I think it's a good time to just transition, man. Let's
Yes,
talk
sir.
about some stuff that's a little more concrete.
What you got?
All right, so this is basically a pick one segment of the show where
Okay.
don't cop out, don't say maybe this or that. It's a yes or no. It's a this or that.
Okay.
All right, so let's start it out. This might ruin our friendship.
Is it a random topic or do you have one? You have one queued up.
I got one queued up.
Oh shit. Okay, let's go.
Best Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
Return of the Jedi.
Empire Strikes Back.
I'm on Empire Strikes Back, man. I really want to say Revenge of the Sith, but I'm on Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
Because there's a thing, man, that reveal that, no, I am your father.
I get that.
that's something.
I don't want to discredit that at all. I'm not
It-
discrediting that.
It was the first time you realized as a child the bad guys can win, even if it's just for a day.
Now talk
Yeah,
to me.
but I got to go with Return of the Jedi
that's
because
fair.
while the bad guys can win,
And that's fair.
the good guys always come back and swing the bigger dick.
Yeah.
It just like that's because that's what you need.
The rematch.
You need the prep time. You need the rematch. You need to go off into solitude.
No, please
And-
continue.
and
Please continue.
You need to come back and win, and that proved that is evil will never be 100% successful as long as there is good willing to fight back. That's why for me, Return of the Jedi.
Which proves my point exactly. But please continue.
What do you mean proves your point? It's,
Yeah, what point
That's
are you
that's
making?
why Return of the Jedi I think is better.
The point that we'd been making that anybody and everybody is redeemable, especially when you put them in the right spot for them to redeem themselves.
Sometimes that spot's way the
Right.
fuck off in the distance by themselves on top of the mountain.
One is character assassination. Character assassination.
It could be that spot though. You don't know.
It wasn't Luke Skywalker's story. It was a Rey's story. He served his purpose.
Ray Palpatine, not Ray Skywalker.
We've established.
Now let's
Although
move on.
that might have been when the mics were. we did all agree. The one thing we can all agree that is canon from the new movies is that it is Ray Palpatine, not Ray Skywalker. So that there is still peace amongst the universe and balance in the Force.
We're going to be proven right when they do the next movie, and she's a Sith.
I mean, she's got to have her failure arc and then redemption arc.
Oh, for sure.
So
It's called Kathleen Kennedy. Please continue.
Danny, one of these days we got to put you next to Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, man!
no, we don't because we do not have the money for the lawyer fees.
Yeah, that one-hitter quitter she's going to put on you, man.
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah.
She's gonna put you in a headlock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, make a pancaker.
Hey, make her
She can't even sign a contract appropriately. Please continue.
Fair enough. All right, what's the next
Question
one you
number 2. What's the worst Star Wars? Don't say Life Day. Throw that out.
got? Acolyte.
Go ahead, Danny.
Acolyte.
If that's the Doctor, is that the lizard?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, this is a call for you.
Oh.
What time we got?
Oh, in the meantime.
Uh-oh.
All right, so did he say his?
Acolyte.
Acolyte?
Acolyte. For me as well.
Oh, man. And you can't say Life Day? I really don't like Acolyte, Dan. I don't like Acolyte, but I really don't like Andor. I'm going to tell you the difference.
I haven't watched Andor.
I'm going to tell you the difference in it. So,
Again, apathy for the new... apathy for everything that has been touched by Kathleen Kennedy, everything that has been touched by Disney, apathy.
lightning round, because this man's got to get out of
Yeah,
here.
I gotta run.
So real quick, it's Andor, and the reason is because I watched Acolyte like this. I watched Andor like I was upset. All right, most overrated character in Star Wars.
Who's the one you mentioned in the ship game? That was me trolling.
I love this character, but I gotta go with Boba Fett.
Most overrated character? Yeah, definitely the Fett.
Agreed.
Yeah, like the entire family.
Fight us in the comments. We'll read them. I'm
Absolutely.
sure.
I agree.
Hey,
Okay, there
That's
you
another
go.
one. All right, we don't have time for a hot seat. All right, so quick picks. Take your time. Get in. So this will be a quick one. Who shot first?
Oh, Han.
Han.
I paused. Look, I frame by frame that
Han.
shit. It was Han.
Han.
No CGI could ever say that.
No, it was Han.
All right. Do you guys think Star Wars is for kids, or do you think that that's a lazy take?
The prequel trilogy was for children, with some
Yeah,
politics sprinkled in there.
it was definitely geared towards the younger generation. I think that Star Wars is probably one of the better options you could choose for coming of age for kids, teenagers, and adults. It is something that everybody from the entire generations.
Hey, we got another one.
Hey, look at that! Thank you.
Hey.
grandma can sit down with mom and dad and the great-grandchildren and the grandchildren and watch it at a family movie night. Like, it is something across the generations.
Yeah, man, that's where I'm at. Star Wars is universal, depending on where you are in your life.
Yeah.
You can see it, and you can have a completely different perspective.
Absolutely.
All right, that puts us at Jedi or villain. Jedi or villains. We already went over that. In Star Wars, where do you think the specific moment where Anakin Skywalker turned into Darth Vader happened?
When his mom died, and he killed all the Sand folks.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, that was it.
Well, goddamn, we're all locked in now.
Sand
We're
people.
agreeing. I gotta find something to make us mad. All right, I found it. Star Wars: Last Jedi. Yoda comes back as a Force ghost and burns the Jedi texts. Right or wrong? What you guys are thinking? I think he was 100% correct because there's nothing for those guys to find in those texts. Because they never worked for
that
anybody.
entire movie was wrong, so I'm going to say wrong inherently.
I disagree with it just because of the amount of history that was there, but I understand why. Because it's the same thing. Using old knowledge, selectively bits and pieces to push your own agenda.
Thank you, Martin, 1991. J. Martin,
I
1991.
appreciate it, J. Martin. Thanks for joining us. Caught us
Absolutely.
right when we're about to wrap up. Unless you've been hanging out with us the whole time, we appreciate it.
Right. We appreciate it. Come back again.
Absolutely. We'll be here next week.
And I already told you guys raise the Sith. We don't have to go through that.
Raise a Sith.
Yeah, Ray Palpatine.
Ray
Well,
Palpatine.
good theory, bad theory.
The Raise a Sith?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
What do you mean? I'm
Do
sorry.
you think she's a
Do you
Sith?
think is that the theory? Like, do you share that theory that Rey's going to be a Sith in the next stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's got to be your failure arc.
Right. We're out of time. Otherwise, I explain it better.
Yeah.
All right. And
We'll open up with that next time.
and I think that's it, man. We made it to the wrap up / the outro.
Yeah, sure.
We didn't fix canon. We tried to balance the Force, and we kept our friendship.
Whatever. It's the 6 and the unreleased 3. End of discussion.
And the extended canon.
Yeah, my ass.
Well, before I hit
Thanks for joining us for Pop Culture Cave, folks. Appreciate it, and hope it was entertaining. And
This was a fun episode.
It was a good episode. Yeah. I gotta go. So, and the thing that you're looking at me through is my hello phone.
Yeah.
So, y'all have a good one. Stop the damn stream.
stream over. Next time you'll see me in the Mandalorian costume.
There it is.
Or the Outrider.